Hi, and welcome to the daily reading for the 25th of May. And it's coming from Jesus Calling, Enjoying Peace in His Presence. And the book is by Sarah Young. So each day has a reading that ties in with some chapters and verses in the Bible. So, May 25th. The world is too much with you, my child. Your mind leaps from problem to problem to problem, tangling your thoughts in anxious knots. When you think like that, you leave me out of your world view, and your mind becomes darkened. Though I yearn to help, I will not violate your freedom. I stand silently in the background of your mind, waiting for you to remember that I am with you. When you turn from your problems, when you turn from your problems to my presence, your load is immediately lighter. Circumstances may not have changed, but we carry the burden together. Your compulsion to fix everything gives way to deep, satisfying connection with me. Together we can handle whatever this day brings. And this ties in with Isaiah 41, verse 28, I think. Zephaniah 3, verse 17, and Psalm 34, verse, I want to say 9, it could be 19. If you haven't tuned in before, I'm doing this experiment with my eyes, and I haven't worn my glasses for the last few weeks. In fact, it must be 2 or 3 months now, and I only wear them when I absolutely have to. And I did that this morning because I dropped my girls off at the airport at 4:30 this morning. So it was dark on the highway, and I suffer from glare from the cars. And I gave up night driving, actually, because I couldn't stand the glare. And it was before I wore glasses for driving. And for a whole kind of winter, I didn't really drive in the nighttime. So it kind of curtailed me a little bit. But then, it's kind of just by kind of fluke, I put on my reading glasses in the car. No, it wasn't even my reading glasses, it was my TV glasses, so distance glasses. And I looked up and looked out the wind screen because my husband was driving, and everything was clear. And it was like, wow, it's dark and everything's clear. So, it was like all I did was put a pair of glasses on and I was able to drive. So anyway, maybe the message is for you that if you suffer from glare and you don't wear glasses, try and put on a pair of magnifiers, but really faint magnifiers, like that will work for distance, and see if it makes a difference. Anyway, back to the reading, because that's nothing about the reading. And turn your problems over to Jesus. I've already done church this morning because I get up, I was up early this morning anyway, but church for me is 6 a.m. because I do it. I joined the church in Edinburgh, which is 11 a.m. So there's a 5-hour difference between Toronto and Edinburgh. So I love just being there in the congregation, feeling part of it. And there was laughter this morning. I cried this morning. There was just the words that the minister was preaching. It was like it touched me. And it's not unusual for me to cry on a Sunday morning when I'm listening to the church sermon, or just even a hymn. The first hymn sometimes makes me cry, and it's fascinating, actually. And I think it's just my connection with, and it's not a sad cry, it's just that I've been touched cry, which is a strange term, but it just does. So I know that more and more I am experiencing the presence of Jesus and God in my life. I am learning the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer so that I can say it daily. The first 2 lines are, Father, Mother of the cosmos, shimmering light of all, instead of Our Father who art in heaven. That's the first 2 lines of the Aramaic translation that Jesus said, some 2,000 and plus years ago. And it really resonates with me. So I'm learning it so that I can say it daily, because I've said the Lord's Prayer daily since I was a child. Even in my years when I didn't believe in Jesus, didn't believe in God, turned my back on religion completely, I still said the Lord's Prayer every day. I've not said much about this reading though, but it's interesting. We have freedom, we have choice. God gave us free will. So Jesus is always in the background, always there in our mind, waiting for us to invite him to step forward. And I've said before, I believe that Jesus is just in our hearts. So when we connect with our hearts, that's Jesus stepping forward to help us. So anyway, 5 minutes is up. Namaste. Have a lovely day. Bye now. Bye.